You did it! Yay! Hey guys, I'm Sam and welcome back to my channel. It's all just semantics. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my summary, my wrap-up for Camp NaNoWriMo 2023. Now, for Camp NaNoWriMo, I started a basically brand new project, which is not what you're supposed to do for camp, but that's what I decided to do because it's very much kind of what you decide to do. And because of that, a lot of what I did during camp was just brain dumping scenes and ideas. But I'm really proud of what I ended up writing. So I ended up writing 65,347 words throughout the month of Camp NaNoWriMo. I think I got a few more words at the end of the last day that I didn't put in, but most of those were in the form of an outline for one of my other books in the series. So for those of you who don't know, I'm currently working on a contemporary romance / slight thriller series that follows 4 siblings and their romantic endeavors, and as well as facing their past, their present, and their future. So it's good fun. I'm really enjoying it. I mostly worked on the second book this month, not because I finished the first, but because the second book was really my inspiration for starting this series, and just chronologically the other book needs to happen first. This being said, I did start writing the first book and I got a solid, I think, 10,000 words in it by now, which isn't bad, and I will take that. That was a little bit after Camp NaNoWriMo, though. I did manage to write afterwards. I haven't been writing daily, but I have been writing, so that's always a plus. I remember the first time that I did Camp NaNoWriMo, like 5 years ago, I did not manage to write much afterwards. I kind of found myself in a bit of a slump, which was unfortunate, but the way it tends to go in these things. Now, as far as my summary for the month of July goes, like I said, I wrote over 65,000 words. I managed to fully plan out 2 out of the 4 books that I have, and I have solid ideas for the last 2. I've even written a couple scenes in those as well. I wrote daily and I managed to make this into a habit. I feel weird if I don't write now, and I'm really enjoying writing every day, although I have missed a couple days in here. I feel weird not writing or not looking at my whip at least a little bit. Now this can be any whip. It turns out that even if I pick up one of my fan fictions or I pick up my fantasy or my thriller story, that works, and I still feel like I've accomplished something in the writing world then for that day, and I feel more fulfilled for it. I also learned during Camp NaNoWriMo that I need to set reasonable goals for myself. For instance, when I started Camp NaNoWriMo, I did not set a word count goal of 50,000. I set a word count, well, I should add that, let me rephrase. I set a word count goal of 50,000 in all 4 manuscripts, and that included the words that I already had in the manuscripts. So I really only set a goal for like 42,000 or 40,000, something like that, when the Camp NaNoWriMo first started. Now, I did end up changing that and switching it to 50,000 words in the month of July, but it's because a lot of what I was able to do was word dumping and just word vomit. I've also accepted the fact that yes, I overwrite a lot, but that means that I'll have more to edit later on. So I am letting myself overwrite, I'm letting myself just go ham on it. And I'm not deleting most scenes. I have rewritten a couple scenes with facts that I've learned later on are more important, or like the scene just is not going to fit in the plot like I thought it was going to. I'm going to have to rework it completely. Or when I write a scene and then realize I have someone riding a motorcycle on New Year's Day. when it's snowing in the Midwest, and that's just not how it works. Or when you forget how many fingers are on each hand of a person. Yeah, there's things. You forget things every once in a while. You forget people have 2 arms. Like, things you don't think you're gonna forget, you're gonna forget. It's kind of weird. It was interesting the way that I decided to write this project too, is while I did have a general outline, that outline also did change a bit. So as I wrote out the characters, I ended up learning a lot more about them and about how they operate. And by doing my writing this way, I do find myself kind of just having to let everything go and letting go of the outline and leaning more towards pantsing rather than planning, because I do a combination of the two, honestly. I need to have some sort of outline so I know what needs to happen in each chapter, but I also need the freedom to create something brand new and to change something almost completely if I need to. So it's a bit of a line that I'm trying to figure out exactly where I stand on. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I definitely plan on doing Camp NaNoWriMo again. I would love to do NaNoWriMo this year. We'll see. Because I have school come the fall, we'll see how that goes. But I definitely do plan on doing Camp NaNoWriMo again. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that journey. Now, on to what I've been doing since then. Honestly, not a lot. Well, I shouldn't say that. Honestly, I've been social again. I've gone out and visited friends. I went out to a concert with some friends. We had dinner at we had lunch at my parents' yesterday, which was Sunday. Saw my sister, and we went to her boyfriend's concert on Friday after, or on Saturday after going to the fair. So it was honestly a lot of fun. We had a great time, and I didn't feel guilty for going out and doing anything, which I think is very important. I do want to be a writer full time, so that is going to, if I get there, I do want to be a writer full time. I do want to create like this full time. And I understand that if I do, some things are going to be given up, especially when it comes to deadlines. I'm going to have to commit to finishing a story by a certain date or something of that sort. And I'm trying to learn to set deadlines for myself. So I suppose what I could get into next are some of my goals for the rest of the year as far as writing goes, since it has already been the first half of the year. Let's get into the second half of the year. Let's go with goals. The first goal I do have as far as the second half of the year goes is I would like to keep reading. I did not read much during the month of July. I honestly focused on writing. I did not read. I think I read 4 books in the month. Like, that's not a lot for me. I thrive better when I'm able to read more, and I know one of the biggest pieces of advice any writer has given is to read. And to read widely. Read what you write and read what you don't write. So I would like to get back into reading more often. I have currently like 5 or 6 books that I'm like halfway through that I should probably finish, so maybe I'll do that in a little vlog where I'll just finish all the books I've started. Yeah, I have a bad habit of doing that. So the main goal, that first goal being to find better balance between reading and writing and my social life, basically. Because I am starting school, that is going to not work as well because I won't have time for a social life nearly as much. But I am going to school part-time rather than full-time. I did decide that that was better, especially since I am still working full-time, and I work a full-time job that is about a 40-minute drive away. My second goal is to finish a draft. I would really like to finish the draft of this second book in the series. I would love to get halfway, if not all the way through the draft of the first book, and to have those two ready to reread and go through next year. I would love to finish a draft of something. That's always been something that's been difficult for me, is actually finishing a draft, actually continuing with it, because I get distracted. I have so many other projects in my mind, and if you saw my Notion tour, I have so many different ideas that are just kind of floating around everywhere. I've got over 20 ideas, several whips, and several that are just the bases for things. And I get so distracted so easily. But my main goal will be the first 2 books of this romance series, and then the co-authoring book that I'm working on with Callie. So basically, I would like to get 1 full draft and then probably about 2 half drafts or so ready before the end of the year. I would also like to finish the outlines for the last 2 books of this series. At least book 3, I'd like to get the outline solidified in the romance series. And then I'd also like to get the outline solidified for our co-author book, because we have had to rework a lot of that story. A lot of the magic in that world has had to be redone, refinished, reworked, and I'd like to solidify that. I'd like to figure out exactly where we're planning on going with our story and how we're planning on showing that. I also have another fantasy series that I've been actively working on. Well, not the past month, but before that I was actively working on. It's codenamed Basil right now. And I started a rewrite of Basil like a year or so ago. I'd like to finish that rewrite. I think I actually started it 2 years ago. I think it was 2021. And I would like to finish that rewrite. Like, that would be ideal. If I could finish a rewrite of Basil, that would be great. But that's kind of like an extra, not really a full concentrated thing that I'm planning on doing. I do plan on continuing to post here at least once a week, if not twice a week. This was originally supposed to be a vlog going up today, but I have very little footage of interesting things that we've done. I have a little bit of footage, maybe I'll put it up, but might just do a 2-week vlog for next week instead, and then include more reading and writing in the second half of it. Because I did very little last week. Let me actually look though. Yes, because over the last week I've written just over 1,500 words in total, which isn't bad, especially coming off of Camp NaNoWriMo, where I was basically hyper-focusing all month. But I'm still pretty happy with that. I do have a feeling that overwriting means that there's going to be a lot to edit out when I finally edit these books, but I'm really honestly okay with that. Next personal goal is more personal than it is reading writing, but I would like to start running again. I was running for a little bit, and I told you guys that, and I showed you guys a little bit of it, and then I stopped because I injured myself. And I really haven't gotten back into it. I've been really tired. It's been really difficult to get out of bed in the morning lately. I know my depression seems to be in full swing lately, and I'm trying to push through that. It's a lot more difficult at times, but we're getting there. We'll figure it out. We did clean the house yesterday, so that was good. That's a step in the right direction. I didn't manage to hang up the clothes yet, but I'm going to try and do that tonight. I have a couple other personal things to catch up on. I have to get my car into the shop. I need to call about financial aid, and there's a couple other things that personally I need to do that I'm struggling with motivation-wise. So those are going to kind of jump up on priority as well. I've used Camp NaNoWriMo as a little bit of an excuse not to do a lot of things that I need to. But in general, the last goal I suppose I have is that I want to continue to write almost daily. I'm more than willing to give myself like 2 days off a week or so, but I want it to be a habit because it is something I feel better once I've done. So I would like to keep up this habit of writing almost daily and continuing with that because I think I will feel better for having done that. So yeah, let me know your guys' goals for the rest of the year. I know it's over halfway through. I'm a little late on the midpoint mark, But yeah, so let me know what you guys think, what your guys' plans are. And I would love to hear. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, keep reading, and keep moving forward. Bye!